Hi, this is Bruce with Big Fish Software again. In this video, we're going to talk about athletes and attendance a little bit to show you what features the app has to manage that. So I'm going to go out and add some athletes to my database here. So I'll click on the Settings tab, and we'll go down to Athletes. And I'm just going to set up the athletes here. So we'll set up Jim Smith. Now, when I'm adding an athlete, I can add a phone number, email. I really didn't intend this to be a big athlete database, just some real quick contact information. But the most important thing when we're setting up an athlete is to choose the group that they're in. So we'll click on the group here, and we're going to say that Jim's in the gold distance group. Once I've done that, I may be adding a lot of athletes to this group, so I can add that, type in the information, and when I hit save and clear, it will actually keep the dialog open, and I can add another swimmer. So we have Jim Smith, Joan Jett, and Bill Smith, and Roger Dodger. So when I'm done with my last one, I can hit the save and close. If I hit save and clear, I can just hit the done button. So now I have my 4 athletes in my gold distance group. Let me add one more athlete to a different group here. John Williams, and I'm going to put John in the bronze group, and we'll save that. So now I have a swimmer in the bronze group and in the couple swimmers in the gold distance group. Now at the end of the season, you may be changing groups around, or maybe even in the middle of the season. Couple ways you can do that is I can click on the info icon next to the swimmer and just change their group. So let's say I move Bill to the bronze group, make that change, hit done, and now you see Bill's up here in the bronze group. The other thing I could do is click on the reorder and delete mode, and here I get the little bars on the right side, and I can simply drag a swimmer from one group to another. So it's very easy to reorder and set your groups up at the end of the season. So now I have some swimmers entered. Let me also go in and show you some of the options that we have for the swimmers. So just going to click on Jim Smith here. So you saw the basic detail information. I can edit this at any time. There's an attendance tab, and you can select what season you're looking at. And right now we don't have any attendance records set up for Jim Smith, but this is where we can go and see what their attendance record is. You can also add notes for a swimmer, and so I don't have any notes entered right now, but I can add a new note by clicking up here, and we'll just say this is a test note. Save that, and then here you see I have my test note saved for the swimmer. All notes are time stamped, so you can see when you created the note, and of course you can edit the note by clicking the info button over here. And then finally you have test sets, and we're going to talk about test sets in another video, but this would be where you can go in and find out all the test sets that have been run for the swimmer and get a summary of those. So click on done here. So we have our swimmer set up, and let's go in and show you how to take attendance. So you notice here I have 3 swimmers in the gold distance group, and if you watch the other videos, you see that I have a couple of workouts for the gold distance group here. So I'm just gonna click on the info icon here, and open up that that workout. So there's two ways I can take attendance. If I'm in the pace clock, if the pace clock is running, I have the attendance button down here at the bottom. And when I click on attendance, it shows me all of the swimmers in the group that is associated with the workout. Okay. So let's go back. Now, once again, this workout was created for gold distance. So when I click the attendance button, it's only going to show me swimmers in the gold distance group and subgroup. So you can do the attendance from the pace clock. The other option is if you're on this edit screen, you don't have to go into the pace clock. You can click this little share button down here, this little action button, and you see attendance is one of the options on this list, along with a bunch of other things that you might find useful. But for now, let's just look at attendance. Okay, so here's our attendance, and by default, all the attendance records are going to start out with a default value. Now, the default value here is absent, but let me show you how you can change that. So I don't like that it's absent. I'm going to change it to something else. I'm going to assume that most of my swimmers show up all the time. So I'm going to go to Settings, and I'm going to go to the Preferences section. And here you see all the different options for attendance. So once again, you can customize your attendance, add new attendance settings or whatever, delete the ones you aren't going to use. But you see how absent default is defined here. Well, let's say I want, let's say I'm going to get rid of this 25% and 75% options, and I'm only going to keep track of, and actually let's get rid of the 50% also. I'm only going to keep track of whether swimmers were excused, if they were absent, or if they were present. So instead of saying 100%, I'm going to edit that, and I'm going to say that the swimmer was present at the workout. And since most of my swimmers are always going to be there, I'm going to make that the default value. Okay. Now you notice that when I have an attendance value, I'm always setting a percentage value for whatever item you have. And the reason for that is that we use that percentage when we're running reports. And if you're running a report for the athlete and you want to know the true or better indication of what they actually did in a workout, if they were only there for half the workout, we can factor that into the report if you want. But so we're just going to leave that at 100%. But that's how the percentage really comes into play, is when you're running reports for athletes. So let's save that change. And now you see that I have my three options, and present is now the default. So let's go back to our workout here and take attendance again. And now you see that present is the default value. Now I can change that by clicking through. And because I only have three options, it just cycles through. So I'm excused, I'm absent, and I can, select each one. Now this is fine if you only have a couple of options. But let's go and let's assume you had a lot of options, or even with the different percentage settings that we just deleted. We actually give you the choice on how you want to select those, and by default it was set up for button. So every time I click the button, it changes to the next value. I could also change this to pick list, and let me just show you when I do that, and then I go back into my workout here and click the attendance option. Now instead of having the buttons, I actually get a pick list, and I can go through and select them. So this might be, you might find this a little bit easier depending on, once again, how your attendance settings are configured. So let's just say that these are present. Now you also notice on the attendance box you have the eye icon. So let's say in the middle of a workout, let's save that. Let's say you're in the pace clock here, and it's the middle of the workout. You might want to add a note for a swimmer. You could do that through the attendance box. So John Williams, I'm going to add a note here and say had an asthma episode during practice. Okay, so now I can add a note. Once again, it's time-stamped when I created that note, and that's recorded for the swimmer, and I have that information. So that can be done just by popping up the attendance box here. Now, once I have some attendance, well, let me go back to the athletes menu again, and if I look at an athlete, now I click on the attendance box and I can see the workout that they attended. And once again, because they were present in this workout, it shows the total number of yards. And once again, that's factored in. It's the total workout yards multiplied by the percentage for the workout. Now, if I go to Jim Smith was excused. So we see the workout. We see that they have an excuse by it. If they're absent, it will show absent there. And then finally for attendance, if I click back on the main screen here, I can run an attendance report. And what that will do is it will take all of the workouts in the given list. So based on the season that you're in, based on the group filtering, it will take all the workouts that show up in this list and it will run a report on those. And it will show you the swimmers. It'll summarize how much, what yardage they had, how many workouts they were in, and so forth. And there's a bunch of different options on this report. You can sort it by group, by name, by day, all kinds of different options to summarize your attendance based on the workouts. Now, when you select this attendance report, I said that it works on all of the workouts in this list. That's true if you have nothing selected. So if I wanted to do an attendance report just on a single week, I can check the checkboxes for that week. And now when I run the attendance report, instead of using all of the workouts in the list, it will only use the selected ones. Okay, so once again, if I don't have anything selected, it uses everything. If I select some workouts, one or more workouts, and run the report, it only runs it on the workouts that I have selected. So in this case, the workout I had selected doesn't have any attendance records for it. There's nothing to report. Okay, so that's the attendance report. Lots of features. Let me go back into that once again and show you one other thing. So with the report, so I got my report up, and I can actually, in this lower corner, I can email that report, I can create a PDF file, I can create HTML file or CSV exports. So lots of different options for getting this information back out of the application. So that's pretty much it for attendance, and stay tuned for another video.